Mom is a referee. She's even the owner of the game. Mom is a referee. I don't know. Whatever family you've come from, whatever you've been um, involved in as you've been growing up, you will say one thing for sure, unless you've been adopted or you were in foster homes. Is that even in foster homes, the same things can happen, right? Is that you will have a mom and you will have a dad. Now, I'm addressing people who basically were just raised by their mothers, right? I don't know if you remember the old shows like Little House on the Prairie or even the Waltons, right? These are model images of what a mother is with a father in the place. Even if the father was not even there, this is a model. This is the ultimate of what a mother should be, right? Is where they care. They actually care for their children. It's called the offspring, right? They've been so responsible. They will look at their child as they're from the time they come as a wonder and kind of like it's kind of like you can be guaranteed by a good mother they're going to fawn all over you and they're going to treat you with such delicacy, right? It doesn't always happen this way, and it does. The life in general replicates. And not that it's going to, it really does. It replicates in every given respect that, mother will learn from her mother and they'll be taken down the line. And there's certain ways it's let's keep this thing going, right? And we do live in a society today where parents can, mothers especially, and say the same thing for fathers too. I mean, the characteristics of what can go wrong or right is applicable to male and female, right? When a mother is basically being given a certain amount of insecurity or a certain amount of where she's kind of, and you don't even know that's what she may have been doing. She may have been raised in an environment where she felt she had to compete. She was the lesser than. She was made to feel less. Those things form a certain amount of resentment within. You can't deny that, right? And that daughter, once she gets married, she will carry that resentment into the marriage, right? And in the interplay between her and the man she married, she is going to be relating, and in so many ways. And people do this; you don't realize they're doing it. They're going to put the hat, they're going to put the cover in the face of the person they're with that they knew so well on their partner. That's just the way it works. It's a terribly unfair thing, but it even works in the other side of the spectrum, right? Now, if a mother has been raised a certain way, she's of course developed a certain amount of a deeper sense of anger inside. And anger, I mean, resentment is a deep rooted anger. I mean, there's so much other hosts that are involved with it. And it intends in the end that where it could not take it out, its its vengefulness for being treated that way on its parent, it will do it to that person who's with them, like their husband or sometimes their friends, right? But when it now and you introduce into the atmosphere, into the environment, into the equation, children, this is a whole different area of called a dangerous element, because those children, unbeknown to them, from the time they get smacked in the butt and are born into the world, there's something different happens to those children in the eyes of that parent. And that is she's going to start to project and she's going to take out her spite on those children. Guaranteed. Any child given just like she has been, given to a certain type of treatment, will respond accordingly and will respond by negative emotions and reactions. Now, I don't know. I mean, we are in a time of history. I'm sure in the past too, in 1940s and 1930s and the 20s. I'm sure they had parents back then that they had. Well, how can I put it? Didn't have it today, like the internet and so forth, so forth. But you had self-help groups, right, where people can actually find help and healing from the pain that they would have experienced in a very dysfunctional upbringing, right? And so I'm going to step on a limb and say that of course cultures can really play a role in hindering a lot of that, right? But not every member of a culture is bad, right? Nevertheless, from the time those children are born and they're being reared up, she will begin, because she doesn't want to deal with the negative reaction that she has living inside towards what she had happen to her. She sometimes even know how to, or she's too simple of a person. That's what you call a simpleton, right? A bit of a kind of a stupidness to the brain that they just kind of go on go onwards with what they're going to do. Now, somewhere deep down inside a human conscience, when you are going to treat someone a certain way, you know there's a check. This is where God is involved. Within the consistency of his creation, he puts the checks. The checks are your conscience. A parental figure, namely a mother, can, in many ways, because the pride basically says this: if it happened to me, it's going to happen to you. And you know what? I don't give it two bits. I'm going to make sure that I don't want to be, I don't want to be in a vulnerable state like the way I was. So I'm going to, because of pride, I'm just going to stay strong. And that's what pride is. It's called headstrong, headstrong, right? In the process of raising their daughters and their sons, they're going to start a fight. They're gonna instigate. They're gonna inspire. They're gonna stir up jealousy, competition, a certain kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, a certain kind of a line of discomfort amongst the children, and they sit back, and the power that they will have is to be the superior being in the environment. And how they deal with the action that they see that they have also done is not try to say, well, I know how it hurt me when I behaved the way you did. And I'm gonna be understanding to say, don't take that route. I'm gonna teach you another way. Do the opposite. Because they are so proud and so they believe it's empowerment. They're going to empower each child how to survive the conflict, even though they're the one instigating this, because they're training their children in the way they should go, right? In the aspect of stirring up the jealousy, they will pit the children by using certain kind of favorite language. Okay, they could butter one up and keep one feeling buttered down. Okay, they can do favorites, and they can also pit the children against each other when the other one is in a room and get them to believe that, how can I put it, where they would feel they would use one against the other, made one feel inferior to the next. When that child who feels inferior is still in the room and the other one has gone, another child comes in a room, they'll make the other child feel inferior and make that child who they made inferior superior, right? And I don't know if you follow what I just meant there, but it's kind of a role switching. amongst the children. And I'm saying this from experience. It took years to kind of figure this out, right? In the years that go by, the children begin to develop, just as she did, a level of resentment, not for her, because deep down inside, they have been trained to fear her and that she is the superior one, right? And she gets to have the power because the parent has a powerful position over their children. Really, they really do. It's called like a psychic connection, whatever you want to call it. They really do. Their spiritual power they have. And as the children grow up and keep growing up, the accomplishments and the directions they will take in life will be stomped on unless it involves that each child is absolutely dependent. That's where we get codependency on her. In the process of doing so, the avenue and the stench of resentment will still continue amongst each other whilst she's the one who's causing the hindrance, right? In the process of stirring up the jealousy and the competition, they will slowly develop their own means of how they see what is going on with them and the other sibling or siblings. They will develop their own perception that how dare they act this way? How dare they rise up? And some children, I don't even know how that works, but some children actually will shine more than others, right? She will not teach them to accept their role in the large sphere of life. And look, it is such a peaceful thing in life that the less you strive to be anything, the more you're guaranteed to become. Striving will never get you anywhere, right? You just simply be modest, you be humble. These are the principles by which talents come about. It is not as much the child as much as it is the attitude that the child has embraced that makes them become talented. So it is the good stuff from God that they take in that will produce the good stuff. It's just that's just the way it works, right? Because in all of her manner of competition, what she's doing, she is developing and causing, which where pride comes from, a lot of insecurity. Because in so many ways, when you cut the how can I put it? When you cut the safety net from anyone and you tell them that the world out there is not as safe as it is in here, you still remain powerful enough to be, well, the one who operates in the environment. And that's where I get the word referee, right? They get to blow the whistle whenever they want. They get to say, okay, you stop. Okay, you go. Okay, you were right. Okay, you were wrong. And they don't have to, they don't have to come out and do this like we would have a match going on in a ring. They do it in the most subtle and psychological ways. It's psychological game playing, right? When it's all said and done, it can really lead to some very dangerous interaction between the siblings because the siblings who shine, then the others will not only looked upon with envy, but it's a kind of seed and envy that could lead to one sibling wishing the other sibling to fail miserably or even want to kill them. It's really dangerous. And this is all because of a mother's intentional desire to control the environment because she can't control or refuse to, I should say, control the root of the issue, which is her resentment. I trust I've been an inspiration to you today that you don't want to repeat the curse and the call to these lower bottom barrel ways of living. I feel that the only way to really be healed from any of it is knowing that you have you don't have the allegiance because you see someone as a parent. It makes you absolutely in subjection and in submission to what is a problem. You can see a parent as a role, but you can see somebody as having a problem. And once you are growing up and you're growing out and you get away, and separation is so necessary, is that uh, Jesus made it so plain as day. I've come to cause separation between a mother and a daughter, a son and a father, and right into the family. This is a healthy. This is a healthy God who understands that this world is ruled by a whole lot of unhealthy consequences. And the only way out from a lot of it is that you really have to get close to God and ask Him to heal you of the wounds and the strange, eerie, haunting, weird stuff that is living inside of you that needs to be pulled out. And a lot of the root of the Bible says, and I'll end with this, the Bible says that a root of bitterness springing up defiles many. And this is the issue behind why a mother will do what she does and cause so much damage. And when she's seen the pain and she sees the suffering, she can even become so insidious that she can smile on her face, knowing that this is the only successful thing she was able to do in her life, and that was to ruin her children. It's kind of it's a very strange stuff. You all have a good day and do like and subscribe. Thank you.